I'd like to call the June 23rd, 2023 Board of Commissioners Business Meeting to order. As usual, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. This evening, one of our township employees, John Constantino, who is being honored this evening, will lead us in the pledge. John?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. Deanna, will you do the roll call, please?
Denise Hall, President.
Here.
Catherine Carter, Vice President.
Here.
Liz McNaney, Commissioner.
Here.
Megan Weaver, Assistant Township Manager.
Here.
Lauren Gallagher, Township Solicitor.
Here.
Nicholas Cross, Township Engineer.
Here.
David Duffy, Chief of Police.
Here.
Nathan Crittenden, Finance Director.
Here.
Van Reeker, Zoning Officer.
Here.
And it is noted that Commissioners Martha Similaro and Ruth Damsker, along with Township Manager Sandra Zadell, are absent.
Thank you, Deanna. Lauren, were there any executive sessions?
There were not.
Thank you, Lauren. This evening, we have the pleasure of recognizing one of our employees who just led the Pledge of Allegiance, who has given 10 years of service to our township. John Constantino switched from Public Works to wastewater treatment in November of 2020 and was promoted to Maintenance Coordinator in 2021. So we asked both of his bosses, we asked Willard Troxel as well as Dan Ferris, to give us some insight on John. I'll start with his first boss, Willard Troxel. John is a connoisseur of coffee, a very good worker and team leader. John took charge of the Overflow Salt Shed project, directing it from start to finish. Dan Ferris had this to say: "When I came on board, we were in a pretty tight spot at the wastewater treatment plant for many reasons. John stepped up from day one, in fact, even before he was promoted to maintenance coordinator. Since that time, we have developed what we refer to as an all-new high-flow procedure that allows us to run the plant during major storm events in permit and extremely efficiently. John has been involved in every plant improvement we have made over the past few months. He has trained all of our new staff. He has been my right-hand man in building the chemical feed systems, as well as the new solids management system we put in place to cut 30% of the cost in our sludge budget. He has done all of this with the same positive and professional attitude he always has. Simply put, we would not be where we are today without him. When the day comes that I leave the gate for the last time, I will know that one of the best is running Upper Gwynedd Township's wastewater treatment plant." John, can you come up?
Thank you.
John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Did you want to say anything, John? Thank you, everybody. That was it. Got it. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming. Next, we have the public comments. Please state your name and if you are a resident or non-resident when you come to the mic. Thank you for respecting the 5-minute rule and practicing decorum. Our goal is to always give you the most complete and correct answers to your questions from our staff who are experts in each of their areas. For that reason, we have the option of enclosing your email address in the registry if you'd like us to reach out to you during the week with a full answer to your questions. We had some residents who were concerned that if we answered any question offline, so to speak, then the residents who wanted to hear the answer publicly would be left out. So we will continue to share any answers to questions that were posed publicly, but we answered privately at the following public meeting. First up for the public comment this evening is Carl Smith.
Carl Smith, 815 McIntosh Way. So I'd like to restate some of the comments I made last week at the Planning Commission meeting to go on record, specifically about the 2040 Upper Gwynedd Township Comprehensive Plan that was revealed that 97% of the residents felt that the township was a good to excellent place to live. It surprises me, though, however, that this same board, the one that commissioned the study, is now attempting to delegitimize the survey by stating that it's too small.
Carl,
of
if
a-
I may interrupt for a second, this board did not commission it. It was Denise and I and the other board, the three gentlemen that used to be on the board. We're the five of us commissioned.
But it was the Board
study.
of Commissioners, correct?
It was a board of commissioners.
Now
but
you're
it's just the
saying
board.
that you don't think it's legitimate because the sample size was too small, correct?
No, I was just correct. Oh, no. I'm glad you brought that up. So that survey that you're referring to, Carl, and I mentioned this before, and I know Linda asked when I was not here at a meeting. So from February 8th, 2019 to October 15th, 2019, the survey was open, and that 97% that you're quoting came from the survey. It was a good response to that survey with 397 people. But there were some things in that survey that we just need to be clear that 90% of the people that responded, actually 357 of them actually lived in Upper Gwynedd. The other 10% were non-residents. There were 16 questions, 13 of them were for residents only, and 3 were for everybody to answer, whether you were a resident or not. And that way we got some input from people that work in our community that answered or come to our community for, different activities. They were able to answer some of the questions as well. So our population in 2018, 2019, when this was done, was 15,849. So to say 397 people answered that survey after 9 months of it being open, and lots of effort by many people to get that survey out there for people to answer. I feel 397 was a good response. And that would be 2.5% of the population if we look at it at 15,849. So with you saying 97% of the population is happy with it, I would say probably higher than that are happy with Upper Gwynedd right now.
Good. Well, it's nice. This is coming from your comp plan. So I'm just
Right,
taking
these numbers are from your
statistics.
comp
I'm just
plan.
taking statistics that have been provided. And I'm
Yeah.
also taking feedback that I've heard from you personally as I sit through these meetings for the last year and a half, saying, I did hear you make a comment that you were challenging the results. And
I
then
never
that's,
said I was going to challenge any results
well,
because I wouldn't. How could I do that?
we can go on and look at the minutes, I guess, Liz. So you were the very one that did it, actually.
Okay.
And this is the same board that just recently, when the survey came out, you touted its legitimacy, how it's transparent, how
I
it was
still believe it.
effective in getting all the information from the citizens.
I would still believe that.
Okay, well then it doesn't seem like it when you say those comments. And for me to sit there and try to now give you, chapter and verse and a date when you said it, it's unfair to do to me at this point. I just know I've heard it said, and I'm sure the people in the room could vouch for that.
Okay.
So what it seems to me like you're trying to have it both ways. On one hand, you're saying that you love the process and it was effective and transparent. But on the other hand, when these results are used to counter some of the points in the 2040 comp plan, you
I'm
try to
not countering.
marginalize the results.
I'm not
I finish.
countering. I'm just simply saying, you keep saying 97% of the
This is out of your
population.
comp plan, Liz, not me. This is not me
You know
making
what,
this
Carl,
up.
I'm not, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Sir,
I agree, and I
Sir.
apologize.
excuse me, sir. If you would like to make a public comment, please, we ask you to register. We have to keep order. We can't have random people just talking. Sir,
Got it right.
sir,
And I
sir,
apologize, Carl.
would you like
so
to make a
please.
public comment? Would you like to sign the list? Or have you already?
No, I wouldn't like to make a public comment. because
Okay.
we have to
Then I would ask you to please be patient and give Carl his time. Thank you.
be-
Thank you. Sir, thank you.
And I said I would. I said,
The point, I think you know the point. The point is you're trying to have it both ways. On one hand, it's working for you. When the statistics come in, it doesn't work for you. Now you want to challenge the results. That's what I'm trying to say here. So if that's the case, then we need to talk about the 2040 comp plan as being illegitimate, period, and not use it to manipulate the zoning code, which is what's happening here. That is our concern. You know that. We've been talking about it for 18 months to this board. It's clear you're predisposed to going ahead and doing it in spite of the facts that we bring to your attention. And the question is clearly, why are you so focused to bringing high density, affordable housing into our township? Is it so simple as just to fulfill your political agenda and fulfill political promises? That's what it seems. But it really is clear to me that this is being used as a tool to manipulate the code, to change the zoning code. It's been developed by Montgomery County by way of Montco Planning Commission. The very language in the text amendment mirrors that's what's in the 2040 comp plan. And we need to be very clear on this. This entity does not have legislative authority over this township or this board. You have the ability to make your own decision. But like I said earlier, you seem very ready to do it. It's clear that when I brought these issues here to this board, I've been stonewalled and told it's premature, you don't know anything about it, when clearly you are working behind the scenes with the Walters Group, who's here tonight. And we have evidence of that right here in this letter I presented to this board before, a letter gotten not from you, but through a right to know, stating from Joe Clement, the attorney for the Walters Group, to Kim Crowder sitting over here on my left shoulder, telling her, assuring her that the Township Planning Review Committee and the Board of Commissioners has requested the township staff work with us to draft a developer proposed zoning ordinance for consideration by the Board of Commissioners. That's dated April 6, 2022. So yes, I don't feel I've been told the truth by this board. I don't think the community's been told the truth. You're going to do what you're going to do. And then we're going to just make sure that the community understands what they have in terms of leadership. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Carl. Next up, we have Linda Smith.
Good evening, everybody. What concerns me the most about this project is the text amendment. It's the most significant and potentially most transformative fallout of the 2040 comprehensive plan. It will change our township. It's going to change our township. And it's not by accident, because it's clear that the township in the adoption of the new comp plan fell victim to the county's political agenda. The county, this is something the county wants every township to do, to put in subsidized housing in their township. It's actually, if you listen to the recent public statements made by Ken Lawrence, he stated that he expects other communities in the county to step up and help communities like Norristown, Pottstown, and Philadelphia to solve housing and economic problems. We were originally told that these were for Upper Gwynedd residents who need to work in Upper Gwynedd and live in Upper Gwynedd. And then we learned that you don't have to work in Upper Gwynedd. And I asked at the Walters Group presentation back in April, do you actually need to have a paying job, or does this have to be, can this just be any type of income? And it can be any type of income. So this could be government checks sent to these people to live in this project, as I'm going to call it. And recently, Kim Crowder stated that it was, and when there was a commissioner meeting, that this was the redistribution of poverty. And then she corrected herself and said the deconcentration of poverty. So this is spreading misery equally, in my opinion. And while this agenda is being openly promoted by the county, why is Upper Gwynedd the first community to find itself this far along in the process of conforming to the county's agenda? I have people from other township calling me who are fighting this in their townships, and we are the only ones that are doing it. So I'd like to know why we are the first. Why are we the guinea pigs, I guess, of this project? Why are we accepting this in Upper Gwynedd? And there are other townships that are against this. It isn't just Upper Gwynedd, the people sitting here. It's Abington, it's Horsham, it's Upper Dublin. Nobody wants this in their township. So Upper Gwynedd Township people don't even know that this is going on. I've been around telling people about this project.